Hello, good morning everyone.
Good morning.
Today we are going to discuss about roles in Ansible. Okay. Yesterday what we have done is, let me maximize this. We have created this easy to launch playbook. Okay. I need to mention one thing. Here, I didn't mention any key file here. So what happens is you cannot connect to that machine unless you select any key file. This is a server we launched yesterday using the Ansible script. But here you see there is no key file selected. So here you have to give one more option like key underscore name so that it will be connected to this particular machine. Okay. Um, so now what I'm doing is I'm going to launch one more machine so you will understand better. Okay. Let me first terminate this machine. I don't need this machine. So my variable is here key underscore name. So I'm adding this as variable. My key name is this my web pem. Okay, my web.pem. Okay, now I'm going to run the script again. Ansible underscore playbook EC2 launch YML. Yeah, actually the same problem again. I need to give variables here. So let me check my history. Environment variables, these two. Okay, I lost these keys because I restarted it. I'll tell you how to keep these keys even after restarting. Paste. Okay. Now I'll be able to run my script. Invalid key pair does not exist. Let me check my key pairs. Yeah, I don't need to mention PEM here. Actually, it will automatically take PEM, the extension of the key file. So I just need to give the name. That is it. Okay, it is working now. You see here, instances. this web server 2 is being uh, launched. Okay, so now we will check um, how to keep environment variables even after reboot. Okay, I'm going to my home directory. Now I'm root, so my home directory is /root. If I hit this, I have one file bash rc. So I'll open this and I'll go to end of this file and I'll simply add those two commands. Okay, I'll check the commands, just a minute. Split vertically. I'm logging into different session for the same server to check the keys. History is the command to check your previous commands. Okay, so I'm giving the same command. So what this bash rc file will do is whenever we restart the machine, it will execute the commands. Okay, I'll copy both at the time. Copy, paste. So I'll remove this. Okay. So now whenever we restart our machine, system will execute this and I'll get the environment variables. Print-env is a command to list environment variables and grep is to sort out. Okay. From the output of print-env command, grep will sort out the result with AWS, with AWS, FreeQA AWS. So these are the keys. Okay, now we'll check here. It's running and I have my key here. So now I'll be able to log in. Okay, that is what I missed yesterday. Okay, please remember these are the mandatory things. Right. Now we will check how to use Ginger templating today. Okay. So I'll write, see this is my web server. Okay. I can browse my web page using this. Okay. So now let me check. Um, I'm logging into my web server now and I need to change something. Okay. If I check host name, it displays 172 dot IP -172 -31 -30 -143. But I need to change this host name to the host name which I want. So what I'll do is I'll create one template file. I'll create one template file and pass the parameters. I'll show you how I will do. Okay. So I'll write one script now. Hostname change. Okay, vi hostname.yml. So here my task is to change hostname of my web server. So my YAML file starts with three hyphens, then host is web server. We have already given that in our inventory file, you know that, and remote user, root, and become yes. So these are the mandatory, and we will check vars here. Okay, I'll tell you what to add to in vars while writing tasks. Okay, tasks. So my task is there are two files where I need to change. I showed you yesterday as well. So these are two files. Cat etc host. Here you have some stuff. You need to add your host entry here. And one more thing, one more file is cat host name. Okay. And I have one more file. If we change in these two files, whenever you restart your machine, it will it will change the host name back to the normal state. So in order to make it permanent, you need to change this somewhere else. Okay, that file is etc init.d rc.local. Okay, in this file also you have to mention your host name. Okay, fine. Now what I'm going is I'm going to change that in my hostname file and host file to make it simple. Okay, so name is renaming hostname. This is I'm using a command. I'm using a command, hostname command. This is hostname module. Okay, whenever you give hostname, it will replace it with the name you have given, hostname. I'm using the same variable here, same name as variable. Okay, so here also I'm giving hostname web server 2. I make it web SRV2. Okay, this is not the name in your inventory. This is just the host name. Okay, so right. So next thing is I don't want to change any stuff on the file etc.host, but I just want to replace the file with my template. Okay, so what I'll do is updating /etc/hosts file. Here what I'll use is template module. Template module is nothing but um, you will create one template and you will replace the variables, and you will um, what you will do is a template has all the stuff which the original file has, but you pass the variable which you want to change. Let me create the template. I'm logging into my control machine again in different session. Sorry. I'm creating temp here. Okay. Okay. Make it simple. I'll create template directory. In this template directory, I'll create templates. Okay. This is my template. So what should I write here? What I have in my host file. See here, cat/etc host. Now I am in, remember that this 143 is my web server, and 143 is my control machine. You need to differentiate between both. Okay, what my host file has? My host file has this entry. Okay, what I need to add. You have to be more clear what you need to add here. Okay, so I'll tell you. So in this file, you have one entry 127.0.0.1 localhost. Okay. So here what I'll do is host.j2. This is the Ginger templating engine. Okay. Let me first install J2. Okay. Ginger 2. So I am saving this file in this session first. No need. I'll simply install here itself. So Ginger 2 is also will also run on Python itself. Okay. So you can simply use pip install Ginger 2. Pip is not installed. I am installing pip now. So apt install Python pip. Okay, pip is also a repository like apt-get. Now it is installing Ginger. So what it is saying, requirement already satisfied. Ginger 2 in Python distribution required already satisfied. So Ginger is already there, right? Ginger 2 version. It is not command, but it is showing pip version 888. Just a minute, let me upgrade this. Okay, it says Ginger2 is already there. So now what I'll do is I'll create host.j2. All the Ginger files will be with extension j2. Okay, so what I have to do is I'm creating one template file. Okay, so that file should contain all the existing details of the actual file. In addition, we have to add variables. Copy, paste, and here I need to add one entry like this. Host IP address, host name, so that it will resolve it. Okay, so here IP address is my variable. I need to add that in my variable file, and host name. I have already added host name, so I'm adding variable here, IP address. You have to be more careful when you are giving any capital letter. Okay, so what is IP? Here is my IP. I of config. So this session got expired, I think. Okay, anyways. So IP is this 172.31.30.143. This is the IP of my web server. So I'm closing this session. Now my template is ready. This is one template. Okay, and one more template is for hostname. So let me connect again to that machine. So I'll check instantly. So here SSH -I AWS Mikey Ubuntu @ web server 2 is this. Oh no. I use this. It's not web server 2. Actually, I use this, so I'll give web server 1. Okay, here I'll give web server 1. So I logged in. So if I check my hostname file, get etc hostname, I have only hostname here. So what I'll give is, I'll give nothing but hostname.j2. I'll just give hostname here. Okay, now I got two files. Now we will write the script with these two files. So template command has few things. Source is where I have that file etc Ansible template / hosts.j2, and my destination is /etc/hosts. So what I want to do is, let us check at host.j2. So what I am doing is, with this file, I am replacing this IP address and hostname with the values I have given in variables here on the script, and I am replacing the entire file on the server. Okay. Then you have to give server permissions. Uh, Owner must be root, and group should also be root. In our Linux session, I'll explain what root, group, and the mode also. Okay. So mode is 0644. I'll explain in this session. Just remember for now. Okay. So it will replace that file. Okay. I need another task. Another task. Name updating slash etc slash hostname file. So here is another file you need to update. So template source is etc Ansible template hostname hostname.j2. So I'm giving complete path. Okay. So destination slash etc slash hostname, and let me copy these instead of writing again. Oh, sorry. Copy, paste. So remember that these spaces are very important in YAML script because these are called indentation. But if you miss anything, see here, -hyphen is the root, and this uh, remote user become vars tasks, all are in the same level. Okay, and if you see variables hostname and IP address, they are different level under vars. Like the same way, you have different levels here: name, host, name, templates, and inside templates, source, destination, owner, group, mode are there. So this indentation is very important whenever you are writing any ML script. So let me check and run this. Ansible playbook hostname web. See here, it ran. As I told you, the yellow thing is change, and OK is not change, but it pinged. Okay. So first in task gathering facts, it will ping to the remote machine first. Oh, the session got expired again. Let me connect again. Okay, now you see the host name here. Host name here. You change it to web server 1. If you want to check here, it is here. So let us check the files at etc host. So you have this entry now. It was not there earlier, and you see here web server. So what I'm trying to tell you is Jinja is used for templating. You will create, if you want to change any configuration file, you will create a template with the same configuration file, default configuration file, and make your changes and put your variables. And you pass those variables from the script to the destination file. You got my point? If you have any doubts, please ask me now. before moving to roles section. Okay, fine. Now what I'll do is, now we will check um, how to create roles. Okay, so first of all, roles has a structure. Let me show you. Ansible roles. So this is how we write roles. So here under roles directory we have, yeah, this will be good. So you have playbook, play.yml is your playbook and your role is nginx. Under nginx you have files index.html and all, and in handlers you have main.xml, main.yml, and in task also you have main.yml. So what this main.yml do is Ansible by default recognizes this main.yml and execute the script we have run in this. So let me create one role now for the hostname change itself. Okay, which file? The one we wrote now. Yeah, this is a file. You can check.
Hello, Jay. Just a minute.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
here second template is there. Second template in source. You are given two. I mean two slash in the template.
Yeah.
Second template. And the source
Second.
file etc. And second and you are giving
Okay.
here two slash. Right? You are giving two slash.
Oh,
I mean this will work or it will error. I don't know. It will work,
it
but
worked. It worked. It changed
but
the file also. Maybe it look as it only one path.
because that is not a correct path, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
no.
right.
It's not a correct path, but I don't know. It actually, if you see here, it changed this variable, right? Actually, that is not correct. That was typo. Okay.
But still it works, right?
It worked
It
because
works for us.
maybe considering it as a one thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So, very
Thank you.
strange thing also. Okay, thanks. Okay. Now we will check how to create roles. Okay. So I already have roles directly created while installing it. I don't have any roles. Now I'll create my role as hostname. Okay. So see here how I'm creating this. First I need is MKDIR. First name is my role. Okay. That is one folder. Now what I'll do is I need, there are structure, but depends on your requirement. You have to create your own directory structure. Tasks is the default one, and you need to have task directory. And I'm creating directories. MKDIR is to create directories. We have templates. So we need to create templates directory, and we have variables. So we have create vars directory. Okay. Now if you see first name here, Oh, let me install tree so that I can show you apt install tree. Okay, tree host name. So this is the folder structure I have now for my role. My role name is host name. Okay. So now what I have to do is I have to create few files. Okay, this is my structure. So I have to create few files under tasks. I need to separate everything I have now. So where is my this thing? Oh, session expired. Well, session expired. Let me close and open a separate tab. Okay. Mm, close. What is the IP of my control machine? 32.186. Yep. So I have to split all these tasks. Okay, all these tasks in uh, my role. Give me a minute. Okay, so my variable has separate variable file, my task has separate file, okay, and my templates has separate directory, and I'll keep the templates there. Okay, so under tasks I create main.yml file. Okay, so this is a little bit different but the same as we have. So it starts with pre-hyphens. This is task. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll copy this entire script up to tasks and paste here. So I need to remove these gaps unless it doesn't work. Okay, this is my file. I am keeping only the tasks in task directory. Okay, under task directory I have main.yml file and I am keeping only tasks, nothing else. Okay, it has tasks, and here you have to notice that you don't need to give entire path of the source, but by default it checks in templates directory and executes the command. Okay, this is enough. But actually for any template it checks in template directory. Okay, so now I'm saving this file. Oh my god, this is not in write mode. Let me check again. Let me copy this. I don't know why it is not in right now. Copy. Okay, let me check the permissions of the file. I don't have any cd hostname. Okay, I was in different path, so I'm not, that path doesn't exist. Actually, I was in roles and checking for tasks directory. It is not there. Let me get into the tasks directory. Now main.yml. Now I'll paste my entire code. Paste. Okay. Now it is good. Now I'm saving this file. If you see, if you see tree structure, here it is hostname and I have main.yml. So inside templates, I have to add these two template files. Okay, where I have my template files, cp cp/etc ansible template host.j22 where I am my templates directory. Okay, and another file is hostname. Oh, sorry, hostname. Now if I check my tree structure again, see here, see here, I have hostname and host j2 file in my templates directory. Okay, so I have to check tree here itself. Okay, it will be clear. You got it? Now we have to go for variables. I don't have any files here, so I'll give main.yml. Main.yml is the default one. Okay, you don't need to do anything with that. So now we will check this. Okay. Anyways, my first lines will be starting with this, and host name is my variable, and this time I'm changing web server 01. Okay, just to define. Earlier I gave SRV and now it is 01. I want to change this, and I don't want to change my IP address. 31, 31, 43. Okay, this is a variable file. You have to change it. Now your role is ready. Okay. Now your role is ready. You have tasks, templates where you can create defaults like that. That depends on your requirement. You need to check that. So that means default means you have some variables. For example, some variables cannot be changed. In our previous script, the variable cannot be changed is our key file and some security group. You don't change it more often. So you'll keep it in default directory, and you will only use the variables that you change more often in variables directory. So now this is a simple script. So now what it will do is we need to call a role so that it will trigger the, make the changes. Okay. Now let us check how do you call a variable. Sorry, how do you call a role? Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to write one you have to write one script. Okay, so I'm creating a file hname.yml. So the same step, host. You have not mentioned this host there in um, your role, but you have to write it on your playbook itself, and you will call the role. So now what happens is, um, yeah, host is web server and connection. Oh, sorry, remote underscore user is root become yes. Okay, here you can give vars if you want it. You can give var from here also. I'll tell you how it works after this. Okay, then tasks. You don't have any tasks here. Remember, tasks are already defined there in role itself. So you don't use task here. If you want to use other than the role, if you want to use any task other than the role, you can use it, no problem. But here I'm not using. Okay, I'm simply calling hostname role. That is it. My script is done. So now I'll run this. Ansible playbook. Let me connect to that machine first. I'm exiting from here. Oh, this session expired. Okay, this session expired. Close. Okay, now my host name is on my web server is websrv1. So it should change to web server 01. We'll see. Hname. Now if we check host name, you see this? Here it will change after you re-log in, or you can do it like this. Yeah. Actually, after your next login, it will change for normal user. But if you see here for this user, it will change. So at the end of at the end, you have to write search hostname like this. It got changed. So let us check the files whether they got modified or not. Yes, it is modified here, and there is another file etc hostname. There also it got modified. So we used our role. So let me go to role again, and we will check few things. So cat template, sorry, cat hostname tasks main. So here in this file we have only mentioned whatever we have in our tasks section of our code, nothing else. Okay, and in another file, okay, sorry, okay, in another file, let me hostname templates. In this directory we have added our Jinja templates. Okay, and cat hostname vars main.yml. Here we have added our variables. So let me check. I have so many variables, and I need to change few variables on script file itself. For example, this role can be used for any server, changing the variables, right? It is not only for the web server on any server. It can be used for any servers. So what I'll do is I'll open this vars files. and I'll comment this too. I'm commenting this too. So let me first copy. Okay, so I'm commenting this too. So it will not check anything from this variable. But please remember, you have to mention your variables here also and comment it, because after some time you don't know which variables you are passing in your uh, tasks file, because task file is not as simple as I showed, but you have maybe more than 100 lines in the task file itself. Okay, so I have commented the variable files. I have commented the variables there. So what I want to do is I want to give the variables here itself. Paste. Okay, my IP address is same. So now I'm going to change. I'm going to change this host name to my web server. Okay, now we will run this. So what I'm doing is, instead of using my variable file in my roles, I'm using variables here. Remember that in real-time environment, what people will do is, whatever the variables you never change or you don't change more often, they will keep those variables in roles variables main.yml file, and whatever the variables they change with more often, they will keep it on this yml file itself. Okay, Ansible playbook hname. Okay, now if I check hostname, see here my web server, what I have given now. Okay, so and there are other things also. Let me give you some example. Hname. So your hosted web server now. So if you want to launch the server, launch EC2 instance, then you have to run that locally. Okay, as we discussed yesterday, it would be 127.0.0.1 and connection type is local. Okay, you will do some tasks here. You will do some tasks here. So in that case, you need to have this tag -host. You can have multiple, but under every -host, the thing you put is separate and independent. But if you want to pass the same variables here and there, but if you want the host name here, you have to give the host name here and here. So how many times you give the same variable again and again? In that scenario, normally we use host file separately. Okay, let me tell you how it works. So I'm saving this for now. If I run the same command, you see here, it is gathering tasks here from this IP and gathering tasks here also. So each thing separated by host at hname, let me tell you, is a separate play. Okay, this is one play. I have not entered any tasks here, but this is separate play. You see here, play 127.0.0.1 and play web server. So and this is different play. So what I said is playbook has different plays, and plays has tasks, and tasks has modules. Okay, module do the actual stuff. Remember that. So uh, take this think this way. I need the same variables, hostname and IP address, in my both the place. So what I have to do is I have to create one variable file. Okay, like this, my underscore vars.yml, for example. Okay, I'm copying this and I'm going to paste there. Copy. Okay, this is my variable file, and what I'll do is I have to add all my variables here. So remember that I'm taking three different types of variables. One variable is in role, one variable is on the file itself, and this is the external variable file. Okay, so now I'm going to paste, right? So now what I'll do is I'll change this. My Apache 01. I'm changing the variable here. Okay. Uh, session code expert. Okay, fine. So now what I have to do is in my hname, I need to call that variable in both the place. So I don't want to use this variable anymore. So I'm not going to use these variables. So I'm deleting these lines. I'm deleting these lines. So in order to call any variable files, you have to use the tag vars underscore files. Here you have to mention the file name. What is the file name I have given? Oh, I forgot just a minute. My underscore vars. My underscore vars dot yml. So like the same way, I can also call from this tag display vars underscore files. My underscore vars.yml is my var file. So this will do the same stuff in all the place. So for example, you have running different roles from different place, and all these roles will use certain common, common variables, right? So you don't need to give each and every variable and value in each role and each play. Okay, you will use a common variable, or you can say group variable file. Okay, now we will check. Okay, I'll delete this, I'll close this, and I'll run this. Yep. The Ansible playbook, hname.ym. Okay, let me log in. Oh, sorry. This is my. You see the hostname here? My Apache 01. That was taken from the external variable file, group variable file. So if I hit hostname got changed. So like this, you can create as many as roles you want, and simply you can call multiple roles from the single file like this. Under roles, you can simply call, if you have some Apache role, you can simply call the role name here. So actually role, the main advantage of role is they are reusable. Say for example, you have very larger tasks. I mean, you have to create one EC2 instance, okay, and you need to change host name, you need to install Apache and change configuration. In Apache, you need to install Tomcat. Okay, so these are 4 tasks. One task is EC2. I'll create one EC2 role, and another task is changing hostname, and another task is installing Tomcat and installing Apache and uh, configuring Apache. So for these 2 tasks, I'll create these 4 tasks. I'll create 4 roles. Okay, and I'll keep my common variable file because I have to use same variables in all the roles. Okay, common variables, many common variables in roles. So what I'll do is I'll create four roles, and uh, I'll have one variable file, and in multiple place I will call the same variable files and run the script. Okay, these roles are reusable. You can use it in any combination. If you want only, if you want to run only 2 tasks like hostname and installing Tomcat, you can simply call those 2 variables from the file, 2 roles from the file. Okay, that is that simple. So before ending this session, I need you to go through Ansible documentation first. Okay, Ansible modules is very important. First of all, you need to install it and check what are the things you can do. And in Ansible modules section, you can have all the modules listed if you check this module index. So these are all the modules which you need. If you want to replace any text, or if you want to cloud modules, for example, if you want to launch EC2 instance, create AMI, destroy AMI, you can do all the stuff. You just need to go to here and first read everything before running it. Read everything and check the option which you can use, and you can try the examples. In examples, they won't give all the options which they mentioned here in this table. Okay, so if you read these options once before going to the examples, then you can understand what should you use for as per your requirement. Okay, you have everything. It is very simple to write Ansible scripts. It is not a big deal, but you need to check the connectivity and SSH keys you are properly mentioning in your inventory file or not. Okay, and one more thing I will do is, if you want to have any custom inventory file, how you should do that. Okay, so now everything we are checking here is taken from host file, host dot sorry host file. Okay, everything we took from here. Okay, I'm copying this and I'm commenting this. So it will not be taken from here. Anyway, I commented that. So now, oh, the section got expired. Okay, fine. So now I'm creating my host file. So there is nothing. Okay, we don't need to give that. So now I'm creating web. I'm adding the same step here. Yes. So this is my custom inventory file, not the default one. I'm saving it, and in my variables, my webs file, I'm changing this to my Apache 2. Instead of 1, I'm changing 22, for example. Okay. So now I need to call my um, custom variable file. So sorry, custom inventory file. So Ansible hyphen playbook hyphen I is for inventory, and then I'll give my playbook name. What is my playbook name? H name. So no host matched. It was taken from, oh sorry, we need to change the group name. Group name I gave as a web, not web server in my custom inventory, so it is not matching. So now we will check. Okay, now I'll close and reconnect to the machine. It got changed to Apache 22. So that is how you use your custom um, inventory files also. So for example, you have two different clients and you don't want to club both the clients. If you make any mistake, all the changes will be done in different set of servers. So what you have to do is you create a separate inventory file and you call it separately. For example, if you have any one UAT machine environment and one production environment, even for these production and UAT environments of for a single client also, you can separate the inventory files. Okay, and you can group different things like web servers, application servers, DB servers, like that. Okay, so this is what we have in Ansible. If you have any doubts, please ask me. I'll clarify that. Okay, it is very simple scripting tool, but you need to understand what to use. Okay, everything is given on documentation, even with syntax. Okay, so do you have any doubts or questions? Please let me know.